Howdy folks, it's Mama B, and today we are going to make 7-layer dip. This is refried beans, nothing unique about them. Dumping it in a pan. Now, one thing that is unique about my recipe is that we like to soften this bean a little. It's pretty stiff, and we like to soften it up a little bit with just a little bit of sour cream. You can also use like a cheese sauce or something like that, but it's not a lot. We're just going to mix that all in. And if you like it a little looser than that, you can add it a little looser, but we're also going to warm it up, and that will get all of this moving. But you can see how much softer it is already. So I'm going to put this pan on the stove to warm it up, and while the beans are softening and warming up, we're going to take an avocado, slice it open, hope that it is ready. Ooh, look how pretty that is. That's beautiful. And we're just going to take this is how I like to take the pit out. You do have to be very careful though, because if you do that too hard or miss, and guess what you're doing? Cutting yourself. So don't do that. Don't cut yourself. You just slide this avocado out like that with a spoon. You're going to need both parts. And if you really like avocado, you might want to add 2. We really like avocado, so I'm still deciding depending on how it spreads. You take your fork and you just smash that avocado. Stick around here, avocado, don't be flying away. Now for those bird lovers out there, this is not the treat to feed your bird, just so you know. Avocados are not good for birds. They are excellent for people. Get that little black spot out. That's by the stem. We don't want that. I just mash this all up. It's looking good. You want it pretty soft, because if it's not soft, it's not going to spread very easily. So get it all mushy, like a guacamole. One of these days I'm going to have to make my guacamole too, because that's so good. Okay, that's looking pretty good. We'll set that aside. Bring in the pan. You're going to need a pan like this. I believe this is an 8x8. It's half your size of cake pan. Oh, and this beans, just perfect warm. Stir it all up. You see that? Okay, so the beans, you're going to put that in first. It's 7 layers, so we've got 7 layers here to go through. So we'll try and do this pretty fast. Just dump that all in there. The sour cream just softens it a little bit. It's nice so that you can use chips with it without the chips cracking and breaking on you as much. Some people really hate that. Me, I don't care. If my chips break on me, I just dig in with a fork. That's alright. Alright, so we're just going to spread this out. Look at that awesomeness. Yeah. Now this would be good all by itself with a bag of Doritos, right? But we are going to make it even better. Get all that yummy goodness in there. You are going to need a towel for your fingers because they're going to get messy in this. Okay, now we're going to add the avocado. Now you just kind of spread that out. I didn't do a very good job at all, but ooh, it's spreading nicely now. It's working out all right. You kind of want to cover the whole thing since it's a layer thing, right? My family just absolutely dies for this. You know that moment where you have to tell your husband that there's some bad news? Like his daughter's moving out away? Yeah, the best way to do that is with this before you break any bad news for him. So feed those poor boys before you give them bad news like that. Oh yeah, that's going to be so good. Alright, grab my spatula because we're going to have to spread this out a little bit more. You can see where it could be really borderline whether or not you use two, because you could easily enjoy this with two. For the sake of our tutorial, if I add another one, it will be, you know, off camera. But let's just face it, I probably will. Oh, look at that. I did it. I added two. Told you it would happen. Just who knew, right? Okay, now you're going to take your sour cream, stir up a little bit, make sure it's all soft. Makes it easier to stir that way, or to spread, excuse me. And then just put dollops all over. Okay, I have no idea how many calories this is, but I'm sure there's plenty. Also, I just learned a little trick recently. I used to spread this with a spoon, but it seems to go a lot easier if you spread it with a fork. So there's a little tip that I just barely learned. You're never too old to learn. And that goes for the avocado too, because that's where I learned it on. Spreading all that avocado out. Now again, you can make these layers as thick or thin as you want. So if you look at that and you say, I don't know, I think I like my sour cream and I want a little bit more, you can. The beans are pretty heavy, and so they hold the balance of everything pretty well. So it's forgiving. So here we are on layer 3. Layer 4 is salsa, and you can pick your favorite salsa and just pour it on. If you're really good at it, you can make your own salsa. Spread it around, and you can do this as thick or light as you want as well. My husband likes the salsa, my kids not so much, so we kind of do a in between. And here's another thought too. If you don't like salsa, but somebody else in your family does, you can do half and half, which we sometimes do. And then the kids will eat the side that doesn't have the salsa, and my husband will eat the side that does. So that works out. I share it with my husband. I like salsa. All right, there's layer number 4. You see that? 4 fingers. 4 layers. So the next layer is going to be our cheese. And we just use Colby Jack. It seems to be a nice mild flavor that fits everybody's taste buds. And I just shred it on. And let it fall where it falls. And if it mounds up, then I spread it around. Oh, we're going to have such a happy house today. When my husband comes home, when Papa B comes home, he's going to be like, oh, this is good stuff. And if there's any other stresses from work or anything like that, they're all going to be gone. Just like this dip. You need a little bit more, because you know, cheese. We just spread that around, light and fluffy. So this is layer number 5. We've got 2 more to go, folks. You can tell this is all ready. You could stop at 5-layer dip. I mean, you could. I'm sure there's a few of my kids wish I would, but then they would never actually get the 5 layers that they want, because they'd want me to stop with salsa and I wouldn't. Or they'd want me to not put the next layer on. And I'm not going to do that either. I tell you what, this stuff, this is great for making a happy Papa Bee. And my cheese. Alright, you can see we're getting close. You kind of don't want to see the stuff underneath it. Let it be the delicious surprise. So, you know you got enough cheese if you can't see the layers underneath. Pinch and pull and tuck and, you know, spread it out. Oh, we are going to have happiness at our house tonight. I would be really curious to know if you have not tried this 7-layer dip. This is not my own idea. I've had it at a few parties, but it's a good idea, and I like to share good ideas with you. So, okay, so next for our next layer, we're going to add olives. And if you have them pre-sliced, you know, just sprinkle them on. If you don't, you can cut them like I do. Just spread them around. And again, you can do it as thick or thin as you prefer. There's not a real exact measurement. I think that presentation is half of the deliciousness of food, so you're going to want to make it look good, right? But also, I learned a lesson the hard way, that if you put too much of that thing that you like, it throws off the yin and yang balance of your food. And so you do want to be just a little cautious with that. I'm going to add this last olive just for the aesthetic of it. And call that good. And then for the very final layer, we're going tomato. And I just slice little diced sizes. I don't usually use a whole tomato with this. This one's a small one, so I might. And these are just Roma tomatoes. Romas are nice because there's a little less juice, so it won't get the cheese soggy. Don't worry, I'm not cutting my hand. I know it looks like it, but I'm not. But also, if you're afraid of doing it, of cutting your hand, please use a cutting board or something like that so that you can not cut your hand, because excess body parts in this layer dip is not great. I'm just going to finish off this tomato by filling in some of those edges. And you tell me if that doesn't look absolutely delicious. You know what? Don't bother, because I already know it totally looks absolutely delicious. And you want to know something? It is. Eat this with Doritos or some other kind of corn chip. It's so good. Folks, thanks for watching our videos. Have a fantastic day.